And welcome back to another episode of the On the Sideline podcast with Jackson and Kyle. I am Jackson, and I'm joined here, as always, by the man who would never fumble in the fourth quarter. Kyle, how's it going?
I would never fumble in the fourth quarter because I wouldn't be playing in the fourth quarter, but I am very good. Fired up. That was, did we just have the game of the year? Week 1, Sunday Night Football? It feels that way, doesn't it?
Maybe. We always start off with the Sunday night show. We don't need any preamble here, Kyle. Ravens, Bills, one of the craziest games, one of the craziest finishes. It was weird because it just felt like, okay, we know how this is going to go, right? Like Josh Allen's doing what he can to keep his team in it, but like couple, drives that they weren't able to score on earlier is going to be the difference. Like there's just no stopping Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. All of a sudden, a fumble. The Bills nearly tie it. They don't, though. They aren't able to convert the 2-point conversion. John Harbaugh decides not to go for it on 4th and 3, which I can't believe he decided to punt that ball away. Josh Allen and the Bills win this football game, go up to 1-0. It's strange that the Ravens keep doing this year after year, where they have this like weird history of blowing games like this. But the story has to be right off the bat just how good this Bills offense was.
They were amazing, and I had a few week 1 overreactions, I think, ready, and I had one from this game even that I was ready to say in this game that the Ravens are handedly the most complete team in the AFC right now. And honestly, I still kind of think it. I think there's a big gap between them and Baltimore and Kansas City. It's just completeness of this roster. However, what isn't a week 1 overreaction for me, because I said it in the offseason when we did our quarterback rankings, and I feel the same way. Josh Allen is the best football player on the planet right now. And oh my God, he was amazing in this game, particularly in the second half when they had those long drives. Just some of the throws he made down the field. Him and Keon Coleman were just on fire in this game. Huge part of the reason they win this one. And that was the story late in this game, was that they couldn't get Josh Allen off the field. And there's just a whole lot of, we can do a whole Ravens thing to get into. I have a lot of thoughts on it. We can talk about it. But I think just at the top, both of these quarterbacks were absolutely amazing. Both of them played like MVP candidates in week 1. So we're not going to overreact to that, but they were the top 2 MVP candidates last year. And it was just a sensational game from those two. And then Josh Allen in the end just took over this game, and he went beast mode. He went beast mode in a way that we rarely ever see from players in this league.
Yeah, he was incredible. Again, we can do is he the best in the world? He did have multiple dropped interceptions in this game. Like he was also ridiculous in the fourth quarter and all this. Like I get it. I'm not going to come here and say anything negative about either of these two quarterbacks. I thought they were both ridiculous in this game. And Derrick Henry again was unbelievable until there was that fumble. There were so many great moments. And I think for the Ravens, I kind of want to take it from, the Bills, again, unbelievable win. For the Ravens, in some ways, this was a nightmare, right? Like everything was perfect. 4 minutes left, you're up 15 points. Your bench is chanting MVP. You're proving Lamar deserved the MVP. And now it's all a disaster. And it's one game. I don't think this is going to be the end all be all for the season. Last year the Ravens blew out the Bills in the regular season and lost in the playoffs. But what a nightmare of an ending to what was a dream game for the most, throughout 56 minutes. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, we have talked about these two teams specifically for a number of years because they've been in the, they've been in the conversation for the last few seasons. And particularly the Ravens side, I texted my friends. I have the timestamp too, so I'm not lying about this. I sent it in text to them after that Bills touchdown to make it 40-32, that this would just be the most Ravens loss possible to dominate for 2/3 of this game. And then all of a sudden just end up losing somehow. And I didn't expect it to come from a Derrick Henry fumble and a touchdown, but this second half just was like a feast or famine show for them. And, I think one of the things, when we talk about these huge comebacks that gets overlooked all the time, it's one of the most underrated parts I think about it. And, I could speak from experience just because the 28-3 thing. I need to mention 28-3 because I need some good Patriots juju in my life right now. But the biggest thing I think is overlooked in a lot of these games is play count and just how much guys are on the field.
Yeah.
The Bills ended up with 78 plays compared to the Ravens 50. The Ravens drives in the second half were a 4-play touchdown drive, a punt and 3 and out, a 3-play touchdown drive, a 4-play touchdown drive, a 3 and out punt, 2 plays fumble, and then 3 and out where they punted it away on 4th and 2. And that was the most asinine thing about the 4th and 2 decision to go punt it away is like, how can you expect your defense after all of that? The Bills have been on the field the entire second half of this game. How do you expect them to get a stop at the end of this game in that situation? And yeah, it just feels like the most Ravens thing possible to dominate games, and then 2 or 3 plays you shoot yourself in the foot, and then all of a sudden the other team's back in it or winning the game. And I don't know what you can't expect teams to play perfect all the time, but the best version of the Baltimore Ravens is the best team in the NFL. This team should win Super Bowls. This team can win Super Bowls, but how many times are we just going to see these boneheaded mistakes and plays and situations and just no accountability is held for it?
It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre because, again, I think usually when a game like this happens, the takeaway is, well, that's not going to happen. If it was a 7-game series, it's not going to happen. You don't expect that to be repeatable, but it keeps happening with Baltimore. And again, that 4th down call where they have a chance to, it's 4th and short, just win the game. I remember it was 4th and 1 against the Chiefs when they did go for it and converted. And it's also just the way this game is going. It reminds me of the famous Bill Belichick going for it against the Colts back in the day. It just feels like it's the right call. Kyle, I don't know how you stop Josh Allen when he's like this. I don't know what you do. They can't get pressure because their offensive line's so good. If a play doesn't work, he just finds a way to buy time for 10 seconds. Eventually, someone's going to get wide open. He's unstoppable.
He's absolutely unstoppable at his best. And you were right. There was mistakes early in this game from Josh Allen. I even was coming away from this game thinking this may be a C+ Josh Allen game early on. But he just has this takeover factor. It's like when you play NBA Jam and the hoop catches fire and all of a sudden you're just not missing from half court. That just feels like Josh Allen in some of these moments where he's I'm taking over the game. This is my game now. That he could just do that against anybody. And this is a good Ravens defense. I have no issue. I'm not coming away from this game with issues for the Ravens defense going forward. They're going to be fine. They were on the field forever in the second half and couldn't get a break. And then Josh Allen's amazing. So I have no issues with that. I just think you could put the 85 Bears mixed with the 2004 Patriots mixed with the Legion of Boom Seahawks, and you could put Josh Allen on fire and he still probably scores on those guys. It's just he just does this against anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's remarkable. And also again, the little things you think of become a bigger deal. That end of the half where there was still 1 second left instead they were able to get a field goal. It's that was the difference in the game. If they don't get that, obviously the whole situation changes, but that was a huge 3 points. It's unbelievable. One of the craziest games we've seen. Moving forward, again, I think that I was gonna say, in the fourth quarter, I'm okay, you got to give the Ravens Super Bowl favorites. They're blowing out the Bills again. The Chiefs didn't look great week 1, even if Mahomes did. You got to do it. I think I'm now if you give me one team of who I'm gonna pick to win the AFC, I think I got to go Buffalo. They're more complete of a roster than Kansas City right now. And again, they don't blow these games the way Baltimore does. That's just how I view it right now.
Yeah. At this point, they have shown that they're not going to blow the games in the same way, at least. I mean, they've blown their fair share of games over the years, especially in the playoffs, but they don't do it to the same grandiose level that Baltimore has. I mean, this isn't just a 1-game sample size, a week 1 sample size. Yes, it's a new season. Yes, things change. But I mean, what was that Raiders game? Was it last year or 2 years ago that they had that wacky loss? I mean, they just over and over.
Yeah.
They just over and over again. It feels like regular season or playoffs just have these games where it feels like the Ravens are in complete control. And like you said, the Bills got that 1 second field goal at half. And that felt like, it was just okay, yeah, the Ravens are still kind of dominating this game. They're only up 7 though. And it's just 1 or 2 or 3 plays a game that feels like it makes a difference for the Ravens every time that you look back on. This should have been done differently. This should have been done differently. And you can look at that. You can look at the fumble. You can look at not going for it on 4th and 2. And yeah, that's probably the difference between those 3 plays alone are probably the difference between Ravens winning this game by 10 or winning it by losing by 1. And yeah, I think they are the most complete team in the AFC. I do. I think I came away from this game thinking this roster is really, really good. I have concerns about Buffalo's secondary. I came away from this game thinking that too. I have some serious concerns, but it is week 1, and they're not going to face Lamar Jackson all the time. We'll see if they can get better. Harrison obviously is hurt. That was their 1st-round pick as a rookie. Maybe he can make an impact. But right now, I think Baltimore is the most talented team, but they have to show us that they can do this.
Yeah. We find, a few months from now when we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs back in the Super Bowl, how'd they do it? This is amazing. Kyle, we could do an hour on this show, but on this game, but let's move on. It's already, past midnight on the East Coast. We got a lot to get to. Let's go from one championship contender to maybe another. Lions Packers. Packers with this not just victory, but dominant victory. I mean, Kyle, there was a lot of people who the Packers were kind of like the dark horse team this year of like a lot of people were saying, oh, I think look out for the Packers. And I was like, you fools. Clearly this team does not have what it takes to be a championship contender. Well, here they go. Week 1, blow out the Detroit Lions, who have been kind of running the division for a bit. Lions don't get any running game going. Jared Goff does not play what you want him to play. They did have a few plays where it worked out, but also Goff had a bad interception in there. Jordan Love, again, the theme of this week was dropped interceptions. Seems like every quarterback had some turnover luck. Love did have a stretch where he had, 2 dropped or it was a dropped interception and then an interception called back due to a penalty on the same drive. Other than that, though, he played just about exactly whatever you would hope for with him. Matt LaFleur schemed stuff up. Defense looks awesome. Micah Parsons didn't even have to do a lot in this one. And the Packers win by 14 over the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, this was an impressive game. We'll go from the Packers side because I think that was the more interesting one. They bring Micah Parsons in, like you said. He's kind of in and out of the rotation. He barely practiced. He's been dealing with an injury. He's learning the scheme, all that. He did get a sack in this game, but that's kind of whatever. I think the 2 most impressive things for me for the Packers was the Jordan Love first half, where that Jordan Love first half is the kind of Jordan Love that's going to help this team make or win a Super Bowl, right? That is the kind of performance you need consistently from him. And I tweeted out, and I feel the same way. That version of Jordan Love is going to be more important for the Packers winning a championship than anything Micah Parsons will ever do in a Packers uniform. Yeah. If they get that version of Jordan Love, they can win a Super Bowl. He was so good in the first half. He was dicing this team. Him and Matt LaFleur just felt like they were in another level of playing football compared to the Detroit defense. They had no chance in that first half. 17 points in the first half. It looked like they were going to coast. And then this game got a little bit ugly. Like, Green Bay couldn't really run the ball in this game, but the biggest story to me, along with that, was Detroit has been one of the best rushing football teams in the league the last couple seasons. Interior offensive line's brand new. That's a huge part of it, but 2.1 yards per carry. And I think you got to tip your cap to Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker in this game. Those 2 Packers linebackers, the young linebackers, it was talked a lot about Kenny Clark being traded. This was a bad run defense. Those guys looked amazing in this game and really made a difference in that run defense, I think, in week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the elephant in the room, no Ben Johnson. And I don't know how much that mattered, but guys were not getting open the way we usually expect. Screen passes weren't getting open, like they were all over that. Maybe the Packers just came out prepared. It's a divisional matchup. We'll see, the Lions play the Bears next week, which there's obviously continuity there as well. And then the Ravens. So kind of a tough start. Oh my God. I didn't quite realize how tough their schedule is to start. Yeah. I mean, because then you get the Browns, but then you get the Bengals, the Chiefs, like the Buccaneers, who are no slouch. Like it gets easier after that, but it's a tough start for the Detroit Lions. But yeah, I mean, that's just it. It's 1 week. I don't know how much of it is the offensive line, but like I kind of came away with this game like Jared Goff can't just be like a passenger here. He has to start taking more chances. I think. Like I think that this is like he's going to need to play a little bit more aggressive. Maybe it's just 1 week. You don't want to fully change your play style, but like
Yeah.
there were opportunities where guys were maybe open and he's playing as though he has Ben Johnson as his coordinator. I don't know if that's going to work anymore.
Yeah. It's tough. The NFL is tough because the schedule is shorter than any other sport in the world, right? It's only 17 games to prove yourself and make the playoffs. So I want to give this group a benefit of the doubt for a little bit that like they're going to need some time to figure this out. But, especially with, only 16 games remaining and this division, which, we still haven't seen the Vikings and Bears, but they have pretty good rosters. Like you don't have a lot of opportunity to figure this out either. So, it definitely is going to be interesting to see how that all adjusts. I do think the interior offensive line does look like an issue so far. And yeah, the play calling has to be talked about. And I think you can talk about the play calling on both sides of the ball because they looked lost in that first half too, defensively. They settled in a little bit, but I think the Packers, you could argue they might have been a little bit more on cruise control in that situation. But yeah, I just think that there was there are concerns for both sides of the ball. I don't think we got all of it answered other than that there is a few, I will be watching it more closely. There is definitely a void here with the Lions and what they looked like the last couple seasons.
Yeah. I mean, I think like definitively both of us picked the Lions to win the division. I think we're probably both definitively in the Packers are the favorites now, right? And it's week 1, but like I'll say this. I feel like the Packers have a much higher odds right now. If I have to pick one team, I'm picking Green Bay.
Yeah, they are looking I mean, you can't come away from this game thinking the Lions are better. Like maybe like I don't see the path right now. They can definitely improve and get better and get in that conversation, but like right now, yeah, the Packers have to be considered the favorites over them.
That's annoying. Come on, Packers. Let the Lions have it for like a few more years.
Hey, we still haven't seen the Vikings, man. Watch out.
That's true. I know. You're
JJ
Super Bowl.
McCarthy's
You're
JJ
NFC
McCarthy's
champion.
world.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Kyle, you know who else's world it is? Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing off the revenge game. I sort of forgot that like Aaron Rodgers does hate the Jets with the whole Aaron Glenn thing. After the game, he was asked, how did it feel beating Aaron Glenn after he was, they had their kind of issue in the offseason, and Aaron Rodgers said, I was happy to beat everyone in the Jets organization. It's like everyone, like even like the hot dog vendors. Like, what do you mean everyone? But yeah, Aaron Rodgers pumped up. Both quarterbacks played well in this game. Maybe not quite what the numbers would show in either case. Again, another case of Aaron Rodgers having multiple dropped interceptions, but he still played very well. Aaron Rodgers is exactly Jets Aaron Rodgers. Just no one watched Jets Aaron Rodgers, and they thought he stunk. Like, he's a very still capable quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he made enough throws in this game. He looked fantastic at times. I definitely think every quarterback's going to make mistakes. Sometimes you do need the luck, but I thought he played really well. I agree. I thought he did a lot of really good stuff. I thought he was really on time with a lot of his throws. I thought he connected with DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin really well. I thought there was good stuff there. And yeah, I think he is going to be a capable quarterback this season. Whether they can continue to put up 34 points a game remains to be seen. But at least in week 1, they did enough to win this game, and that group looked really good. So yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, like, if it wasn't for that Sunday night game, we would be talking about this as the quarterback duel of the week. Like Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers facing their former teams for a season, and they went head to head, and it was a fun game. I mean, it was this was the most entertaining game of the early slate by far.
Yeah, this was the feel good game of the week, right? Like both teams feel happy about how they performed in this, even if the Jets couldn't get the victory. Because Fields looked really good. Like they have an offense kind of built around him. Breece Hall, I had kind of given up on. He played well in this game. Like you had a lot of good stuff here. I guess neither team is thrilled about their defensive performances, I suppose. But this was a very, very fun matchup. Yeah, I mean, again, I had the Steelers as a playoff team. I kind of still feel that way, as a wild card team. I don't know. This Jets team, again, the hope was, could they be like the early Dan Campbell Lions of just like scrappy, keep you in games? Like week 1, check. Kyle, they were trying to like kill people out there. I mean, this was the most violent team I've ever seen play football.
Yeah. No, there was definitely some fun parts about this Jets team. Like you said, they play physical. I think they definitely have an identity. They have a pretty good offensive line. They have a really excellent creative running quarterback at times, and they
Mhm.
have a good running back, and they even have depth. I still like Braylon Allen, even though he got 6 carries in this game or whatever. So, they have things that they can go to for sure, and Garrett Wilson on the outside, who had a good game. I do want to see what happens when teams like adjust to it. Like, you had all off season to basically prepare for Pittsburgh's defense, which feels like it hasn't changed in like 50 years.
Mhm.
Pittsburgh runs the same scheme, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
So like you had all offseason to prepare for that, and nobody had seen your offense at all or what it looks like with this group. So we'll see how it adjusts as teams make adjustment. But they checked all the boxes, and I would say if we were gonna overreact to this game, this Jets team looks much better than we thought they were going to be preseason. So do I
Yeah.
think they're a playoff team all of a sudden? I don't know about that. We'll see. But they're at least a lot more competitive and a lot more much they look like they're going to be a much tougher out than we expected.
Yeah. There was a really interesting sequence with Jalen Ramsey with the Steelers of he hit Fields kind of late. Not late. It was a legal play, but like it was a big hit. And so some Jets offensive lineman took exception to it a little bit later on the very next play. Jets were just running out the clock. They sent 2 guys to block Jalen Ramsey, almost seeming like a bit of a don't mess up our quarterback type of move. Jalen Ramsey, one of those guys was Garrett Wilson. Wilson and Ramsey got into it, and then at the end of the game, Ramsey made the big hit on Garrett Wilson to knock the ball loose and win the game. So that was kind of a fun storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Jalen Ramsey is kind of a pain in the ass. Like, he definitely is not going to be someone that makes a lot of friends out there, but he's also a good football player. And like, I do think that was the underrated aspect of that trade, that I think they upgraded in their secondary for Minka Fitzpatrick. And it wasn't all perfect today. Like you said, Fields had a pretty good throwing day too. He was almost 10 yards per attempt. 9.9. He basically was 10 yards per attempt. So really good day all around, but Ramsey was able to come up with the biggest play at the end of the game.
Yeah. Both guys kind of had a few of those throw it 4 yards and then your receiver takes it 50 type of plays. But again, they both still played well, and the offenses played well. So maybe room for that in the future. Really excited to see what these two teams do from here. Let's move on. Kyle, from the feel-good game of the week to the what the hell game of the week, let's go to the Miami Dolphins taking on the Indianapolis Colts. What in the world, Kyle, when we said we wanted the Miami Dolphins to start playing the same way in September as they do in January, this isn't what we meant.
Yeah, this looked like a cold weather game.
Yeah,
for Miami, this was tough. QBR, do you have a guess for Tua's QBR number for today?
It's got to be like 3.
2.7. Yeah.
I overshot it. Too high, too optimistic.
Yeah. It wasn't great. He struggled, and then Zach Wilson came in and had like 4 yards per attempt. Yeah, I mean, look, there was all this conversation about Miami in the offseason on is this team going to implode? That felt like the theme is like people were waiting for this to kind of tank and end unceremoniously. And they obviously have some weaknesses on the offensive line that are a bit of an issue. You could look at this game. And they have some weaknesses on defense, I think, this year too, because they've lost Javon Holland and they lost Jalen Ramsey, who are both big-time players. So you lose those two guys, you have issues on your offensive line. You're generally going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was still kind of the belief, like, okay, they have Davon Achane, they have Tyreek Hill, they have Jalen Waddle. When Tua's healthy, he does throw the ball pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to give this team a chance to, like, I don't think this is going to be a total disaster, even if I'm not picking this team to make the playoffs or anything. And this was a total disaster. I mean, they look bad. Not to say they can't get better, not to say that they are imploding, but this looks like it's a long way to go. And I think this defense is bad. And if you're going to put the ball in your own territory with turnovers over and over again, it's going to look even worse. And they had a lot of issues in this game.
I mean, Tua was just awful. Like, this is the worst I've ever seen Tua play. Like, I legitimately, like, I don't think he had a game. I guess, well, there was a game like against the Titans, like in year 2, maybe, where he was awful. Since Mike McDaniel got here, this is easily the worst he's played. I mean, he was missing open guys. He was throwing just directly to defenders. He's like, I don't understand what happened. Like, Tua is not a bad quarterback at reading the field and throwing over the middle. That's like his strengths. I don't get how it'd be like, I don't get this. What happened here? I'm just, it's one of the most baffling things I've seen. I mean, give the Colts defense credit, of course, but still, like, Tua's played good defenses and hasn't done this before.
Yeah, and you can't even say it's like new weapons he's working with, new play caller or anything. Like,
yeah,
outside the offensive line, most of this stuff is the same. So yeah, I think it was a weird game. Maybe we could just write it off, and 6 weeks from now we're saying, oh, Miami's just kind of like a solid football team. But yeah, I think they have a lot of soul searching, it feels like, to do even after week 1, which is surprising. But the other side of this is that, this Colts team we talked about in the offseason, like, they were a couple plays away from potentially making the playoffs last season or being in that conversation, and they had bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Daniel Jones is going to have a 9 yards per attempt, 87 QBR rating, QBR the entire season. But man, did he look good today. Like, for everything we just said about how awful Tua was, Daniel Jones, I mean, he put the dimes in Danny Dimes today. Like, he had some fantastic throws in this game.
Yeah, he was very good. Did a great job at running the offense, doing the simple stuff, which, we kind of talked about. It's like, I think in the previews, we're like, could this be a Sam Darnold situation? Like going from a horrible situation to a good situation, being able to run the offense. Maybe you're not going to like turn into an MVP, but play well. He made a couple of nice throws as well on top of this. So again, I think one of those games that people are probably going a bit more crazy than they should, but also like he did play very well and did a lot of nice things. And the stat that is just like the most baffling stat ever of Red Zone brought this up, that like this is the first time in like over 30 years that a team has scored on every possession of the game. Because it's happened a couple times where a team has kneeled down in the final possession, but they didn't kneel down either. So this was, a perfect game for Danny Dimes.
Which is funny because like they did only score 33 in that case. Like, but no,
it was like 7
good.
Possessions.
Yeah, it was a fast moving game with all those turnovers. It's even more surprising. But no, they ran. I mean, they ran for 156 yards. I mean, like, they did a lot of good stuff there. And then, like you said, it was the simple stuff. And then when they were ready to take their shots down the field, he hit Michael Pittman for that touchdown. He had a great throw to Alec Pierce on the sideline too. Pierce's only catch of the day. And then Tyler Loren looks like everything you want in that rookie tight end. I thought he was fantastic in this game, where you say you want to take the easy stuff. You have that security blanket in Tyler Warren underneath making plays.
Yeah. Good stuff out of Colts. That's fun. Especially, again, people were talking about the Colts as though they were going to be a first overall pick once they announced Danny Dimes is going to start for them, which it was kind of crazy. Like no, this was the pretty clear ceiling for this team. Broncos Colts next week. I just feel like that Thursday night game against those two teams, I can't get excited for that game, no matter what. I don't care how good those teams are. That should be a good game, but just that one Thursday game was so bad. I see those two teams. I'm not excited next week.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Just it's like PTSD essentially. But no, I mean, like, that it's definitely an interesting matchup. So he is going from whatever this defense he faced week 1, he's going to the Broncos defense, and that might be the polar opposite. So that's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, it's always hard week 1. Like, okay, was this a great performance or does that other team just stink? Let's go to Raiders, Patriots. I didn't bring that up for any reason. Kyle, go ahead. Take the floor.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, kind of an interesting game overall. The Raiders go out and score on the opening drive, and I think the Patriots basically went 3 and out. They didn't do much there. And then it felt like for the rest of the first half, the Raiders looked like they were going to go down and score again. Gino does make a bad throw, I think, there because it was deflected, like some bad luck on the interception aspect, but it was also not open. There was multiple guys around the receiver he was trying to throw to, so it would have been a miracle to make that play. Ends up in an interception. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the first half, it just feels like the Patriots are in control. However, they miss a field goal. They miss a 40-yard field goal, which, by the way, if you're a kicker, and I know I do the anti-kicker thing all the time. If you're a kicker and it's your first NFL game, you got drafted as a kicker, and you're wearing eye black and an arm sleeve, you better make all your freaking kicks, man.
Yeah,
do not miss a 40-yard field goal. That's my opinion. Anyway, we move on. So he missed the first field goal. We get another stop, though. We make the second field goal. We go up 10-7. Get another stop. And all of a sudden, it looks like, we get the ball back it was like a minute and a half left. And it's like, we could actually be in, like, huge control of this game. And they just felt so they opened the drive with a Drake May scramble, don't get the first down, have to punt at the end of the half. And it just felt like a game we were in control of going into the half. We're up 10-7. And then everything flipped in the second half. I think Drake May really struggled in the second half. I think the defense really struggled in the second half. But I think the Raiders also made a lot of adjustments. And Geno Smith was so good in the second half of this game, making some big-time plays, including the game-clinching pass down the field, which, you know, it was a busted coverage, but it was also a throw on the run down the field that was fantastic. So I thought he looked really good. Myers and Bowers looked really good. Gene T still has some work to do, but he just has this innate ability to fall forward every time, which was impressive. At least that's at least the building blocks of something. Raiders offense is going to be good. I was impressed with that in the second half and what they did.
Yeah, I know Brock Bowers got banged up a bit. That's kind of I believe it's not supposed to be too serious, but hopefully it's you know no issues whatsoever. But yeah, that is another thing to keep an eye on. Kyle, so I know, you know, usually I don't watch too much of the Patriots stuff before we get into the podcast, just because like there's so much to watch. I only have so much time. I know you're going to be paying attention. So like Ashton Jeanty ending up with 2 yards per carry. I feel like I saw several highlights from him. How did he look in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it was loaded boxes. They play a physical front, and I think the front three for the Patriots actually did pretty well in this game and winning on the inside. So there wasn't a lot of opportunities for him in this game. Like I said, I do think he had the ability to fall forward in a lot of situations where they needed tough yards, and I thought that was still somewhat important, even if it wasn't the best day. But yeah, he didn't make a whole lot of guys miss in this game. I think there's still going to be some growing pains there, but you still see the promise. I did come away from this game pretty excited from that Patriots front seven. I thought they looked really good. I thought they played the run really well. You had 2.5 Harold Landry sacks in this game.
Yeah, there you go.
Chason got involved. I thought, you know, this is a group without like an elite pass rusher, but it just feels like there's 4 or 5 guys on this roster pass rush wise that are going to get involved. Between that and the front seven, I thought they did good in that aspect.
The question I have to ask, the Drake May thing, Kyle, we had debates this offseason about, I liked some of what Drake May did his rookie season, but I also have some concerns. You were a lot higher on him. How did he look in this game?
Yeah, I mean, May did the same thing. I felt like it looked a lot like last year at times, where I thought at times there was the stretch in the first half where I thought we looked really good. I thought he played really well in those situations. We were also ahead in the sticks in a lot of those situations. Him and Keyshawn Butte looked really good. Hunter Henry looked good. Stephon Diggs at that stretch looked good. And in the second half, it felt like he made a mistake, and then all of a sudden, it just felt like it was in his head the rest of the game. He sailed the one pass that led to the interception, and then all of a sudden, it's like 2 or 3 throws in a row were really sailed, and there were some issues there. And yeah, I think, you know, we still would like some more dynamic players in the offense. I think that's a bigger issue, but like, yeah, I think the second half really showed some growing pains and showed that he's a young player that needs to get better.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. Shout out to the Raiders, though. Huge win for them. Trying to make the playoffs this season. Very fun. Kyle, every team in the AFC West won except the Chiefs.
Yeah. When's the last time they've been in sole possession of last place?
It's probably been a bit. I feel like maybe some of those like Jamal Charles years.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it was a you know, just to say the Raiders part, I do think they look very good offensively. Like I said, I thought Geno was fantastic in this game, especially in the second half when they made some adjustments. Him and Myers really made some big plays. The defense, I thought, really came alive too. Like, they flew around to the ball. They had what's the safety's name that I'm trying to blank on? Polo Mao. He made some really big plays in this game. I came away impressed with him. But yeah, I think that they look good in spots. So we'll see how it continues to develop.
Also, I see Devin White was the leading tackler for the Raiders. What was he doing there?
He made a few plays. He did some things.
Good.
I don't know about long term what it's going to look like, but he made a few plays.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was one of the leading the team in tackles because you're playing well or playing poorly. Because sometimes it can go either way.
He definitely was getting targeted in the pass game. That hasn't changed. But I also think he also made a few good plays. So I do want to give him some credit.
I'm rooting for him. I like Devin White. The person is like one of the coolest guys that's ever played for my team. It sucks that he forgot how to play football.
Yeah. Yeah. He just he still struggles in coverage. That's still not new.
Okay. Well, Kyle, let's move on. Let's go to my team. You touched on it, so why not? Yeah, crazy game here. As first, the Buccaneers get off to a very slow start, back-to-back 3-and-outs. Atlanta has Bijan Robinson has like a 50-yard completion, and you're thinking like, oh no, what's going to happen? Then it felt the switch flipped. The Buccaneers looked like the Buccaneers. They were kind of I don't want to say dominating, but playing very well. It looked like they were maybe going to run away with it. They had a situation up 4 where K. Dotton gets wide open down the field, but Baker thought he was going to see the blown coverage and run further down the field. Instead, Otten finishes his route. They're not on the same page. It's incomplete instead. Would have put them up 11 points. And then this crazy final drive with multiple roughing the passer penalties. It takes like 7 plays inside the 5, but Michael Penix Jr. has a play where he reaches out to the goal line, very similar to that Indiana play from back in the day. He's able to, on 4th down and goal, get the touchdown to go ahead, but there was still about 2 minutes left. Baker Mayfield to Emeka Egbuka for the go-ahead touchdown. The Falcons then are able to get back down the field because there was a missed extra point. They're down just 3 points instead of 4, and then Younghoe Koo misses the game-tying field goal. There's actually a play right before that when it looked like the Falcons were about to score a touchdown. Antoine Winfield made a great play to break up the pass right before then. So this was just an insane ending to a game, Kyle. I was on my heart rate was unhealthy levels during the end of this one.
Yeah, they that was pretty bonkers for sure. Coming out of the wire, the Falcons put themselves in a good position to win this game, for sure. And I thought Penix played really well. I thought he was really good in this game. And he did have he was another one. He had a couple lucky plays in this game as well. But for the most part,
there was like six dropped interceptions in this game.
Yeah. Baker really struggled in the first half of this game. I thought he came around and then came alive, but I thought he really struggled in the first half where Penix was kind of dealing early, but then missed a few throws. But for the most part, I enjoy watching both of these teams so far. I think this offense with Penix looks a lot more dynamic. I would like more Bijan Robinson touches in the backfield. But he still finds ways to get involved in games, catching the ball, doing all this different stuff. So, you can't complain about it too much. But yeah, I think that both these teams look like the class of the NFC South right now, which isn't surprising based on the other two teams.
High praise. Yeah. Somehow the Saints don't even look like the worst team in the NFC South right now, but we'll get there. Sorry to Michael if you're in the chat, but I mean okay. A lot to go over. I think that the Bijan Robinson point of the Bucs did do a very good job of stopping the run. It's kind of why it's always been a bit of a tough matchup. Baker Mayfield, he did 2 things really well. The scrambling is still something that's a very good part of his game. There were several key 3rd downs that he was able to pick up with his legs that were in many ways the difference in this game. And then also the final drive. That was basically the 2 things he did well. He scrambled well throughout the game, and he was perfect in the final drive. Did not have his best game. You're right. He, got very lucky to end up with no turnovers in this football game. Also, Bucs offensive line missing Tristan Wirfs. They kind of surprisingly heading into this game essentially shifted 3 different offensive linemen around to make up for that, which is not what I thought was going to happen. And it didn't look great. They weren't able to get much push in the run game. They need Tristan Wirfs back. So those are kind of some things that we will keep a pin in. But Emeka Egbuka, hey, Jason Light knows receivers.
Yeah, no kidding. He did a really good job. And he's the reason they won this game. He had 2 big catches. So, I mean, they're missing 2 guys right now. Egbuka slaps right in, and he looks like he's going to be here for a while. So that was really good. I thought Bucky Irving had some big plays in this game, even though his overall stats aren't overly impressive. I thought he just had some really clutch plays at the end of this one. And then, you mentioned that Tampa Bay offensive line, which is still my concern about Atlanta. 1 sack and 3 quarterback hits with that depleted offensive line missing its best player. I still feel like that's just a bit of an issue for them. And I still came away from this game thinking that's an issue. That is definitely a thing for me, but I do think their secondary looked really good. Xavier Watts, I thought, had a pretty decent day for his first game against this offense. You have Jesse Bates. AJ Terrell played a lot better, I thought, in this game too. That is something to at least look forward to. You have that secondary. You have this passing game. You have Bijan Robinson and Algier. maybe this Atlanta team's going to be a little more competitive than we think.
Yeah, I came away very impressed with Atlanta. I did. I thought Michael Penix played very well. A little rookie mistakes early on, but down the stretch, he was fantastic. And, and I think their defense looked a lot better than I was expecting as well. So part of why I'm happy we got the win is because it would be tough. It seems like
this team beat you twice last year, so you're already up 1 from last.
Right, exactly. Thanks for bringing that up. Let's move on, Kyle. Let's go Bengals Browns. Kyle, I had this take almost nailed. I said the Browns were going to win. I was so ready for it. I thought I had it. A missed extra point and a missed field goal was the difference. Joe Burrow somehow ends up with just 113 yards in this football game after a great start. The Bengals offensive line just could not get anything going against this Browns defensive line, which is, again, part of why I picked the Browns to win the game. There's only so much you can do. The issue is just the Browns have no explosive playmakers whatsoever. So it's like they need to get first downs by getting 4 yards, and 3 yards every 3 plays, or they're not going to get the first down. So that was kind of the issue. And even both of the interceptions in this game were like Browns receivers actively catching the ball and tossing it right to a Bengals defender. This was a disaster.
Yeah, I do like both the rookies. I will say that. I liked Sampson and Harold Fannin, but those aren't explosive play guys. It's a tight end and a running back catching the ball out of the backfield, and it's not like a Darren Sproles thing. They're both good though. I like that. I like that. Just a wacky game, and like you said, I mean, I don't even know how to judge it because we should be giving. At least the Bengals did win this game. We should say that. They did win it.
Hey, better than previous week ones.
Yeah, that is better than previous week ones, but by God, did they try and lose this game so hard? And they should have lost this game. So I don't know what to think of this. This defense is still a disaster. A lot of the young players still just aren't working out for me. The offense will be fine. I'm not worried about that. I will say, here's my other week one of my other week one overreactions. I think I only had one so far.
Okay.
This is a true week one overreaction. I might be ready to send Myles Garrett the Defensive Player of the Year award now.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh my God, he was amazing. He's the best player on the field.
Yes.
He had 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. I mean, you could have told me he had 17 sacks in this game, and I probably would have believed it. He just felt like he was in Joe Burrow's ass the entire game.
Well,
yeah, no, I mean,
that better.
Just crazy. He was just all over the place. He's the best defensive player in the world. That was amazing. I thought he was the best player in this game, and he almost helped his team win it, and they should have. So, frustrating game for sure. Bengals, I guess defense you could say did come up with a couple turnovers, so cool. But I don't know, man. We'll see what this. I'm gonna give this team another week, but they did win, but I don't know. It's embarrassingly bad at times.
Yeah. I mean, this was not what you like. Again, I think you said if the Browns win this game, just stick a fork in them, they're done. Bengals, it's over. And it was a chip shot field goal miss and an extra point miss. That is the difference in this game. This is special teams that had no credit to the Bengals whatsoever was the reason why the Bengals beat a team that many people are thinking might end up with the worst record in football this year.
Yeah, and they still probably will, honestly. Do you think this guy gets cut? Rookie kicker?
I don't know. Sure, whatever. Why do we need to spend time on that?
Yeah, probably not. But I love breaking down kickers when they lose their jobs.
I know.
That's fine. That's my thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Rough. Hey, you got the win. You play Jacksonville next week. Kind of got to win that game, it feels like, as well. I don't know I wonder who's going to be favored in that game. But anyway, let's move on. Let's plow ahead here, Kyle. This was a good game. Niners Seahawks. This was a game that, again, it was just kind of a sloppy football game. Brock Purdy was not playing well. In fact, this is one of the worst 3 quarters we've seen from Brock Purdy. Multiple picks. But then, the Seahawks are in a situation. It's 4th and 1 at around the 20-yard line with still a little bit of time left. They elect to kick the go-ahead field goal, trust their defense to get a stop, especially because the 49ers, another team with special teams issues. Jake Moody had missed 2 field goals. One of those was blocked. But with special teams issues, you're thinking, hey, what are the odds of them getting a field goal? Well, they didn't get a field goal. Brock Purdy gets a touchdown drive going with just a jump ball to Jake Tonges, who is in the game as a backup because of a George Kittle injury. Purdy just like throws up a jump ball to him. He makes it work, gets the go-ahead touchdown. Sam Darnold gets a shot with a little bit of time left. He drives down the field, gets them inside the 10-yard line, but then fumbles on a Nick Bosa strip sack, and he actually recovered the fumble himself as well. Yeah, crazy game.
Crazy game indeed. That throw was awful for the game-winning touchdown. that looked like it should have been easily intercepted. Yeah, so, I mean, kind of crazy down to the wire. And then, like you said, the Seahawks have an opportunity to win it and fumble at the end from Sam Darnold there. So, kind of an interesting game overall. And then, like you said, George Kittle gets hurt in this game. That played a part in it. And this 49ers offense looks like it might have some issues, even though, Christian McCaffrey did play really well in this game, I thought. Ricky Pearsall had a couple big catches. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the gist of it. But, overall, yeah, I came away – I feel like I kind of nailed both of these teams in the offseason. I think San Francisco is an okay team that has a few really good players and is going to struggle outside of those really good players, which they did when George Kittle went out. And then, yeah, I think that the Seahawks defense can win them a lot of football games. I think this is a really good defense that had opportunities to win this. 7 tackles for loss. They were in the San Francisco backfield a lot of the game. But, I came away in this game still having concerns about this offense going forward. I thought Sam Darnold had a few good throws. I don't think he was a disaster by any means, but this feels like, I guess I'll say this feels like a game Geno Smith would have won. It really does.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think Darnold was, for a while I was going to say hey, difference between Darnold and, I thought the Seahawks were going to win. I was like, hey, Darnold didn't play great, but at least he didn't make the big mistake. At least he was able to, keep things going. And even at the end there, it's when they open up the offense, he's able to actually do some stuff. And then the fumble at the end, which is kind of all, been part of one of the issues of him is taking sacks and losing the football sometimes when that happens. But one of my issues with the Seahawks was that they were too Jackson Smith and Jigba dependent. Well, mm-hmm. I didn't expect this. Out of the 150 yards that Sam Darnold had passing, 124 of those were to Jackson Smith and Jigba. They need a more complete offense if this is going to go anywhere.
Yeah, he had 9 of their 16 catches, 124 of the 150 yards, and he felt even more impactful than that. So he's a really good player. I continue to say it. I thought he was sick last year. I think he's a really, really good player. And we saw last year too with Sam Darnold, he likes his guys. When he finds his go-to target, he's going to use that. It's kind of like the it's like playing Super Smash Bros. And just hitting the same button over and over again. All those Kirby mains just doing the brick thing. That's basically Sam Darnold playing football. Uh-huh. So he's going to keep using Jackson Smith and Jigba until they double, triple team him, and then he'll go somewhere else, I guess. But he had a really good game in this game. But yeah, this offense needs some help.
Yeah, they do. This is I don't disagree that this is could have been a good Geno Smith game, but Darnold's also younger, so we'll see. It's week 1. But yeah, huge win for the 49ers if they're going to try and make the playoffs. I think that they need Brandon Ayuk back. That's kind of that's where I'm at with them right now.
Yeah, the team makes a lot more sense with Kittle and Ayuk on the field, right? Everything mm-hmm. kind of falls into place a little bit easier, and then all of a sudden you could say, let's get this team rolling then, because those are both really impactful players.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's go to Texans Rams. This is the another. This was a really good game. It looked for a second like the Texans were going to pull this off. They were not looking great offensively, but they get the ball into Rams territory with thanks to a roughing the passer penalty. They start to move the ball, and then a fumble. Rams recover on a 3rd down. They decide to pass it. Matthew Stafford gets the conversion there. Rams defense played well. Texans defense played well. Both defenses showed up in this game, but Stafford made the plays when he had to, and also just this Texans offense continues to look uninspiring.
Uninspiring indeed. I don't know about how I feel about Dario Ogunbowale being in the games at the end of it.
Yeah.
That just feels like something that shouldn't happen personnel wise, but sometimes things happens, and he is a pass catching back, so I get it. But like, I don't know, that just felt like a weird decision overall. And yeah, this team does lack a little bit of explosiveness for me. Like, I mean, look, CJ Stroud was 19 to 27 in this game. How many different receivers caught a pass? Nobody caught more than 4. And it's just like they spread the ball around. There's not really a go-to target right now. And it should be Nico Collins, but they defended him well. And they don't really have that option B, it feels like, right now without him. And that was probably my concern with this Texans team going into this season, among other things. I still think the offensive line has some issues. And the number 2 receiver, I think, needs to step up. I think Jaden Higgins had some moments, but like, it's going to be a lot to ask a rookie to step into that situation where, you look at the Rams and they had their clear, powerful. They have their guys. Like, Puka Nacua is really good in this game. Devontae Adams had his moments. Kyron Williams is involved too. And like, those are the guys they're going to use, and everything works off of that.
Yeah. That's an issue, especially when it's also, it's a divisional game and turnover battle. Both teams had a fumble lost. Stroud had the interception. Like, that's kind of, that can be the difference in these tight games. Again, they were right there. Like, this was a game that was very winnable, but yeah, disappointing loss for them. They're playing Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football next week. I do feel like, okay, this team has a really good pass rush that should be able to do some, good there, a good defense, but they just need to, they need to figure out what's going on offensively. This is so bizarre. This was a team that we thought of like 2 years ago. Is this offense just going to get better and better? And it's completely, this is not the Rams defense is good. They should have been able to pass. Like, Nico Collins should be able to have more than 25 yards. You should be able to scheme him up some plays, get the ball in his hands to some degree. Stroud threw 27 times. It's not like he didn't throw much. Like, that's just 3 catches when Stroud throws 27 times just can't happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the offensive line still plays a part in this, where the Laramie Tunsil thing, it was talked about, but like, you still just can't have 3 sacks and 7 quarterback hits. You got to keep them upright. You got to give them a chance there. I think that is a huge part of it. And like you said, I think both of these defenses are also just really good. And we're ready to play week 1. Like, this was kind of the sleepy game of the afternoon in a lot of ways. But at the same time, like, these 2 teams are good. I expect both of these teams to make the playoffs. And they definitely have a chance to. And yeah, I came away. I still came away pretty impressed with this Rams defense in this front 7.
Yeah, I did as well. Let's move on. Let's go to another late game, and then I think we'll get into the Thursday and Friday night games soon after. We still have 6 games left, but Titans Broncos. This was an ugly game. This was actually kind of a sneaky fun game to watch, though. Like, I don't know. I enjoy ugly games. I enjoyed this one. Cam Ward definitely looked like a rookie out there, especially with like some of the sacks and things of that nature. Bo Nix turned the ball over multiple times in this game. In fact, the Broncos ended up turning the ball over 4 times in this one. Titans had 2 turnovers of their own. So a lot of that going on. Ultimately, the Broncos defense looked fantastic in this game. And Bo Nix needs to clean up what happened. Under 5 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. You need to clean that up. Maybe Titans defense shut up too. Give them credit. But like, defense is weird. Sometimes a defense that on paper you're looking at as not very good ends up being very good. That's kind of maybe what Tennessee's could be this year. But Broncos need to clean up their offense. Good news is their defense looks as advertised.
Yeah. And you can even argue with this Tennessee defense. Like, this was a group that we thought like they had invested in. We thought it could be better than what it was last season. So it's not necessarily surprising that they played a little bit better. I like Bo Nix. I thought he played well year 1. I don't need to see him like, and it seemed like there was a big emphasis on using his athleticism even more scripted this year and doing different things and getting him out of the pocket. I don't need to see Bo Nix like throwing sidearm and like off his back foot this much. Like, figure out better situations, I think, for Bo Nix to throw the ball. He also has to make better throws. But yeah, I think that was a big part of it. I thought they ran the ball really effectively, though, in this game. Dobbins and RJ Howery looked like a really fun duo compared to what they had last year. So I do think there are still some takeaways from Denver to be optimistic, even on the offense of the ball. Like you said, you just got to clean up some of this stuff. But yeah, the big story of this game was the defense was awesome, and I feel bad for Cam Ward. Like, this is not the kind of team I would want a rookie quarterback to make his first NFL start against. It's not fair. But he struggled. He took some rookie sacks in this game, I thought, too. Just a lot of mistakes as far as holding the ball too long. But yeah, this Denver defense is no joke. They looked ready to play week one and looked like the best unit in the league.
Yeah, there was a point when I think it was the third quarter where they were down 13-12 and like at the 20, and Cam Ward just took like 2 10-yard sacks and this bumps him out of field goal range. I will say as well, a lot of drop passes. Calvin Ridley had a couple of key drop passes in this game. Like, honestly, like they had a chance to come back and win, and like his receivers couldn't make the plays. So hopefully that can get cleaned up as well. But book is still getting written on Cam Ward. It's not that much like. His performance was not worse than Bo Nix's week one performance last year. Like, Bo Nix took a few weeks to get going. It is what it is. But yeah, I think you're maybe hoping for a little more if you were a Titans fan.
Yeah. I honestly think that him not having a turnover until that like last desperation play was kind of a miracle in itself. Like, that almost feels like a win for me that he didn't turn the ball over like 4 or 5 times in this game.
Yeah.
Like, I do think he was smart with the football. Like I said, he's got to eliminate the sacks. He's got to be a little more decisive at times, but like he also wasn't throwing himself into mistakes, which I also think is an important thing to build off of. And he has talent, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's go to the primetime games from earlier in the week. Let's start off with, I guess let's just go in chronological order. Let's start off with the reigning champs winning the football game. CeeDee Lamb had a couple of drops in this game that if he makes those catches, they probably win. Also, there was a dropped interception on a play where CeeDee Lamb slipped that could have allowed the game to be over a little earlier for the Eagles. There was, Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott, and there was their spit gate of who spit first and all this stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, this is George Pickens clothesline the guy. This game had everything, Kyle.
Yeah. If you're going to say someone got ejected from this game in the first play, was George Pickens like a minus 1,000 favorite?
Yeah. One of the upsets of the century is that he was not that player.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird one. And I mean, honestly, it really, really changed my opinion on this Philadelphia defense. Like, they looked very helpless without Carter in the middle. I thought this run defense really struggled, and I think the secondary has its issues on its own because, like you said, the Dak Prescott line does not look amazing, but I thought Dak Prescott played a lot better than what his line suggests. I thought his receiver, those couple of CeeDee Lamb catches puts him well over 200 yards and puts him, I thought he had a really good game overall. I thought this offense looked good, and like I think I was just saying though, the Carter thing, like, the Jordan Davis, the guys in the middle there, I thought really struggled in this game. And it's like, look, this could be a decent Dallas offensive line. The young guys I thought actually looked pretty good in this game. But we have seen Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders for a number of years now. We don't normally see that kind of performance from those guys. Like, they felt like they could move the ball however they wanted for stretches. After this game just got wacky after that lightning delay. And like, I don't really know what to take away from that, but for the 2.5 quarters we did see before that delay, I thought Dallas was kind of right there with them.
And honestly, like the Cowboys, even after the delay, it's not like the Eagles were like shutting them down. It was like the drop passes, like it was like the fumble, like it was like the Cowboys beating themselves. The fumble was before the delay, but you get the idea. This is the perfect game to showcase that passing yards is a very flawed stat because Dak had 188, Jalen Hurts had 152. I thought both quarterbacks were great in this game. Jalen Hurts with his legs on key plays to this was a game where guys weren't getting open consistently, which is maybe concerning because we didn't think Dallas's defense would be great. Although ton of time for him to throw, and he was able to take advantage of that with usually using his legs to scramble and get stuff that way. I think I'm very much in it is week one. Let's let the defense gel a little bit more because, they have almost like half of a new starting roster on the defense. Like, it's not crazy. Like, it would be weird if they were great right away. Last year, they struggled in the Sao Paulo game against the Packers week one and eventually got going a little bit later on. Like, I wouldn't be, let's give it time here is all I'm saying.
I'll definitely give it time. Like they definitely deserve the benefit of the doubt. I do think, as far as just the Eagles go, when you talk Super Bowl contender or Super Bowl favorite, even because they did win it last year, I do think I am going to watch their secondary a little bit more closely. Like I said, I thought Dak was great in this game, and Jalen was great in this game. I agree with you; they were both really awesome. I thought the secondary had a lot of mistakes and. Like you said, they caught the benefit of some drop passes. I thought even Quinyon Mitchell really kind of struggled in this game, but his other side with Jacorian Bennett and Odori Jackson was a bit of a mess. I thought Zach Bond looked really good in the middle, though. So yeah, I think there are definitely some issues I'm looking at with this Philadelphia defense and how it gels and how it gets better. But they look good and they got the win, and that's the most important thing. I think Jalen Hurts looks like he's ready to go, and I think he's due for a fantastic season. This Cowboys defense is going to be rough all year. And that's the takeaway from the Micah Parsons trade. This defense is bad.
The defense did step it up at the end there. Again, we can say it's just a delay or whatever, but they started stopping the run. I thought their coverage unit was okay in this game. I just think I'm not willing to go fully there yet, only because the Eagles are really good at pass protecting as well. I don't think Micah Parsons, I don't know if it obviously would help the defense. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. But, I don't know. I don't expect this to be a great unit, but I thought they at least did show some signs of life in the fourth quarter.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's fair. They showed fight. And DaRon Bland is still a really good player. But, I think one of the things we saw in this game is, you don't have to throw at DaRon Bland, when he's out there. So, I do think that definitely helps the situation. So, I think, it'll be interesting to see. But, yeah, it could definitely get better for sure. But, yeah, I think that there's a lot of holes still, I think.
Yeah, started off horrible with the 3 straight touchdowns and then a field goal. But, very, very entertaining game. I was complaining about Cowboys getting to week 1, the opening game, and it ends up being an awesome game. And that happened last time, too. So maybe I should just stop complaining.
Don't complain about the Cowboys.
But then what do I do?
Yeah, that's your whole bit.
That's not my whole bit. I think I do other stuff.
It's the only reason you have this channel.
I hope there's at least some other reason.
What else we got?
Chiefs Chargers. The Chiefs lose to the Los Angeles Chargers. I thought Patrick Mahomes was amazing in this game. With some of the plays he was making, doing whatever he could to keep his team in it. Bit of a slow start with the Xavier Worthy injury. Kyle, you kept saying he's going to have a great year. He dislocated his shoulder, so hopefully he won't be gone for the whole year. But going to miss some time. Rashee Rice is already missing the first 6 weeks. This is as good as Mahomes was. I said this, but I actually got the year wrong. But Kyle, the good news is it looks like 2018 Patrick Mahomes is back. The bad news is it also looks like the 2018 Chiefs defense is back. Oh, do we have Kyle? Did we lose Kyle here? Kyle seems to be frozen. Chat, let me know if this is Kyle or me. Sometimes I can't tell if it's on my end or his end. So I'll just kill some time real quick if it's assuming that it is Kyle frozen. But yeah, okay. R.I.P. Kyle. I'll just do some. So, oh no, Kyle's completely gone now. I don't know what happened here with Kyle. Kyle's stunned by that take. What take? What did I say? It was crazy. I don't know. I thought Justin Herbert was fantastic in this game, right? Chargers were consistently scheming guys open, but the Chiefs defense was really not stopping much in this game. The Chargers, and also anyone in chat, if you have any questions, you can answer it as I am solo doing this now. But I really didn't think the Chargers defense the Chiefs defense was what you would want in this situation. Yes, there were some good schemes. Yes, Herbert made some good plays. There were also some wide open guys. And that's not what we're used to seeing with the Kansas City Chiefs defense. We're used to seeing the Kansas City Chiefs be kind of a dominant defensive unit. And I don't think we saw that. So, okay, do we have Kyle back? Okay, yes, Kyle, you're back. Oh no. Looks like it's frozen again. For a second we had Kyle, still no Kyle. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Kyle, you here? I can't hear you. Okay, yeah, I can see you, cannot hear you.
You hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Oh, hang on one second.
Okay,
No, it's not working
understood.
for me.
Oh
All
no.
right.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my internet just my entire house just like went out of power for a second, and
Oh no.
the internet's out. So, oh wait, we might be back here. Hang on. I
Okay.
might be able to
Well,
reconnect there.
yeah. Okay.
Give me
Well,
one
here.
second.
Okay, no worries. I'll just do the Chiefs Chargers a little bit more. Again, anyone have any thoughts on the Chiefs Chargers? Let me know in the comments below. I will in the chat. I will be, we can talk about them. I mean, I think the Chiefs, I think this is a bit concerning for the Chiefs. Again, concerning for the Chiefs is different than concerning for other people, right? For many, teams, they'd love to have a performance like this. But for the Chiefs, who we're talking about them as potential Super Bowl contenders, I do think you have to look at this a little bit and say the receivers weren't able to get open a lot. They did not block well. Travis Kelce was so mad at Jawan Taylor, he headbutted him. Like, this is a, maybe not what you were hoping for. Kyle, can you hear me now? Is everything good?
Everything is good now, I guess. That was weird. Everything just died for a second, then came back on. I have good internet signal. I don't know what happened there, but hey, I'm back. Let's talk Chiefs Chargers. What did you say?
Yes, I was trying to fill time. Essentially, my thought was not impressed with the Chiefs defense. I think Mahomes' supporting cast was not very good either. Herbert was very good. Chargers X's and O's were very good. Quentin Johnston was great in this game, as was Labaconki as always, and also Keenan Allen showing up. All of a sudden, this receiving core doesn't look so bad. But I think the thing for the Chiefs is like expectations are different for them. Like for them, if losing in the AFC Championship game is a horrible season for them. Like that's other like franchises like franchise highlights. So because of that, like offensive line not blocking well, not getting open consistently, with the exception of some well schemed up plays and some Mahomes magic. Defense not playing well. Like the only good thing about this game is that you still have the real best quarterback in football, Patrick Mahomes, still on your team.
Yeah, Mahomes was really, really good in this game. He was fantastic. And yeah, there's not much you can do though when this is your supporting cast at this point, because down to receivers, what you get left to Travis Kelce. And I mean, I even think Kelce played a bad game. Like he had the one touchdown catch, which was like the busted coverage thing. It was a good scheme play there, but he also had a late play where he could have gotten into the end zone potentially and like stopped on the route, and it seemed like a mistake. Hollywood Brown had probably the worst 10-catch, 99-yard game I've ever seen in my life. And Mahomes was, Mahomes had more rushing, double the rushing yards of any of the running backs too. So like he was everything on this team. The defense has some issues. I am concerned about that. I'm not going to overreact because I do think things can get better, but like, I also think there's a talent deficiency right now. Like they need to go make a trade if they don't get like Worthy back, because this receiving room just does not look like it right now. This offensive line still looks like it has its issues, and this secondary, which, we kind of alluded to in the offseason, probably wasn't as good as what the numbers said last season. They look bad in this game. And Justin Herbert, everything about how amazing Patrick Mahomes was also should go to Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert was amazing in this game. He absolutely diced them.
Yeah, Herbert was fantastic. Are we buying into this Chargers team a little bit as like, I think we kind of both, I forget where you had them. I had them as like playoff team, but like a wild card team, maybe win a playoff game caliber. Are we saying this could be could they win the division this year? I kind of think like maybe. Like I'm still gonna pick the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs, but like I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah, nothing's out of the question at this point. Like I definitely think they can, but like I'm still picking the Chiefs too. I agree. And we'll see. Like if this consistent version of Justin Herbert not only can help this team win the division, you can win an MVP award at this level. So, I think that if they get this version of him, this version of this offense consistently, I think they can win a lot of football games, because this defense is good. This defense did show to be very good again in this game. And I like what they're doing. Jim Harbaugh's a very good coach.
Yeah. My last thought, flip side though, guys aren't getting open. They're not blocking. Defense played horrible. They still almost won. They lost by one score. And if it wasn't for a 3rd and 14 conversion, maybe Mahomes pulls this off. Mahomes is very good. Mahomes is just someone you have to deal with.
Yeah. He is. Yeah. No, it's on that. I agree.
I mean, given in an off season where somehow it's become a thing of like, is Mahomes still elite? Like, I think this showed, like, yes, he is.
Yeah. I mean, there was never an argument that Mahomes is bad all of a sudden or anything. It's just that I think that the second and third quarterbacks have caught up to him, basically. And he still showed that he can be that Superman that they need in this game. They didn't get the win, but he did everything he could to make it happen.
Yeah. Kyle, let's do maybe a speed run here through these last three. We are getting late here. It's 1:10 on the East Coast. 3 games left. Let's talk some balls. Giants taking on the Commanders. Really good performance by the Commanders defense, which we did not say a lot of last year. Sure, it was the Russell Wilson Giants offense, and it did not look good, but, the Commanders defense still was able to make some plays, which is nice to see. When they played bad offenses last year, it still didn't look great. Like, this is, good performance here by the Commanders defensively, and their offense did enough to get the win.
Yeah, I really like this Commanders game. Like, it wasn't perfect. I think they still got some things to work out, but they really got after the quarterback in this game, and I was impressed with that. And, they looked at this Giants defensive line, which is going to be a problem for a lot of teams, by the way. This defensive line just has so many bodies that are really talented. Mm-hmm. And I thought Brian Burns in stretches looked really good in this game. I mean, he had 2 sacks too, so like he was good. They were basically just able to run on them though. They managed to make it work. They had 220 yards, 6.9 yards per carry. There was a lot of scramble action in that, but you also look at this Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who became the fantasy darling late in the fantasy drafts. He looked fantastic, and he had a couple big plays. And you have him, you have Jaden Daniels doing his thing. I mean, even Austin Eckler at his age is still going to be a pass-catching, running combination problem. Like, they managed to just figure out the way to win the game, and I was impressed with that. We'll see how this defense looks against tougher competition, but they checked the boxes so far, and I got to give them credit for that. So, good win for the Commanders.
Few Malik Neighbors plays in this one. They tried for a few more. That was, again, like, that's our offense. Let's just do it. We did see a good Cam Scotabo play, which was fun. Are we starting to get into is it Jackson Dart time?
I mean, apparently, like, I've got to give commendment to Brian Daboll, because I do think he's a solid coach, but he does take the cake for being sometimes the most dramatic, like, coach publicly. Like, we say we hate all the coach speak all the time. Like, he's already starting a quarterback controversy after week 1. So got to give him the credit for that. And just like the vibes of this quarterback room all preseason were immaculate. And he's immediately just basically saying Russell Wilson stinks. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Kyle, let's do, I'll let you do Cardinals Saints. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. So hopefully you have enough time to talk about Cardinals Saints.
Cardinals Saints. So we're talking about America's team, the Arizona Cardinals, playing New Orleans, which, a lot of people were saying was a team that could be in contention for the number 1 pick, and still probably are, for being honest. This was a fine performance for the Cardinals. They felt in control. They had 17 points in the first half, and at one point it did feel like they were going to run away with it, but didn't play that well in the second half. But overall, I just think, like, they still got some things, I think, to clean up offensively. McBride and Harrison looked very good in this game. Trey Benson, even in the backfield, had a very good game. And Kyler at times did look really good. But just too many drives that stalled for me. And maybe this New Orleans defense, which kept all of their guys, is still going to be okay and still a bit of a problem for teams. And that could be the takeaway. But overall, I think this Cardinals offense should be a little bit better. Their defense did look good in this game, but I don't really know how to judge it against this kind of offense, because Spencer Rattler, I think he could be a decent backup quarterback in the NFL. I really do. But at the same time, like, I think he's a backup quarterback, and he won the starting job because Tyler Shuck couldn't win it. And he comes in here, and I think he made a couple good throws. It wasn't a complete disaster, but it's still not something that, like, you're building towards the future with. So I think there was a few good moments there for the Cardinals overall. I thought the defense showed some good stuff, but like I said, when they play a better quarterback, I'll be a better judge of that. The offense, I think, could have wowed me a little bit more, but they covered the spread. America's teams want to know. That's most important.
We have a super sticker from Romeo, so appreciate that. I didn't catch any of it, but I'm assuming I know the details of the little underwhelming. But hey, a win is a win.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think there was an opportunity for them to kind of blow this game open, and they just kind of didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think Harrison and McBride are good players, but we'll see what the rest of it looks like going forward.
Yeah. Let's move on. We have one more game left. Panthers Jaguars. Kyle, I'm sure you have. I was nice enough to not give you Panthers Jaguars when I went to the bathroom.
Yeah. We're actually going to go on lightning delay here. We'll be back in an hour and a half to finish the show. So everybody just sit tight. We'll be right back. And no, this game was this was rough. And obviously I checked out a little bit once the delay happened. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Panthers offense suffered through a lot of growing pains in this game. And we'll see how it looks going forward. But big statement win, I felt like, for the Jaguars. Travis Etienne had a few big plays, and there's some things to like, at least. So I thought the defense played well. Just overall, I don't know. Did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Jaguars looked competent. I don't have too much thoughts with them. I don't know how much to take away from this. Kyle, when I said I wanted Bryce Young to start playing like Tua, this isn't what I meant.
Yeah, very similar games. I mean, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad.
He was. I mean, the game was really like, Bryce Young, bail us out, and he's like, "What do you mean? I gotta bail you? Like, why is Bryce Young? They're treating Bryce Young the way like the Chiefs treat Patrick Mahomes, of just like, oh yeah, he'll figure it out for us."
But that's how it was last year too, and he ended up making a few good plays. But yeah, I just think it's a tough team. This offense still needs a lot of talent, and they did the Thielen trade, and I understood, you got a 3rd round pick for an older player, that was probably good value or whatever it was, 3rd or 4th round pick. But then Jalen Coker also immediately goes on the IL, who is a guy who you're probably envisioning filling into that role, who was good last season. And it just looked like the team, Ted McMillan had a few good plays, but it looks like a team that was desperately needing some pass catchers.
Yeah, it just looked like the same as last year, except replace Thielen with Ted McMillan. It's like, oh, you got one guy who's playing pretty good. That's it. So yeah, rough. I was disappointed because I was very excited for Bryce Young. But yeah, it's not happening. I'm sure he'll go to another team and play good there, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he could have a resurgent second career for sure, second draft. But I don't know. Let's see. Maybe they get better. We saw this Panthers team. This is still better than the Panthers week 1 of last season.
That's true.
So, this team has shown that it can get better throughout the season. I think it will. I even think in this game, Bryce Young started out struggling. I thought he played better in stretches of this game later on, but the game was over by that point too. So who knows?
He made some really nice plays. He also made some not so nice plays, which was and there just wasn't enough to be had with this. So yeah, credit to the Jaguars though. Good win for Liam Cohen and the Jaguars there. Kyle, we did it. We got through 16 games. Hour and 20 minutes in. Look at us.
Look at us indeed. And now look at us go to bed. So everybody have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody. We will be back Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout for the preview show, week 2 preview. If you want to hear us talk about the Panthers Cardinals, that's when you can tune in.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know what you just said about Panthers Cardinals, but sounds good. Okay, is that the game next week?
Yes, I said if you want to hear us preview the Panthers Cardinals, you got to tune in next week, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Listen, Cardinals by 100. We already know what it is. Cardinals are winning the Super Bowl.
Kieran reminded me, don't forget the socials. Yes, Kyle, where can they find us on Twitter before we head out?
Kieran, we're trying to go to bed here. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. That is at Jackson Kruger. Make sure to follow me at by Kyle Gronin. And make sure to follow the account page at On the Sideline JK. That is at On the Sideline JK.
Of course, you like audio-only podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, search On the Sideline Podcast. It should be available there. Kyle, you can get to bed, and so can everybody else. Thanks again, especially to those of you staying up past 1 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate all of you who are watching live or listening after the fact. Until next time, have a good one.
Peace.